So if you make source art, you've inevitably come to a point where you have Kuges casual operators, Pigos casual operators, or casual operators of any kind of variety, and you want to put, custom things in their t-shirts, because all you can normally wear is blank shirts or tan shirts or whatever. But chances are you might not know how. So thankfully, it is a fairly easy process. So first what we're going to want to do is take a blank texture of the t-shirt, and this works on kind of any blank t-shirt texture you can find, but the one I'm using specifically here is the kind of the DayZ standard one that's used on a lot of kind of simcast models and stuff like that. Regardless, you get a blank one. Pico's Casual Operators has the blank one that I'm using here, but you can also get them by desaturating normals and that kind of thing. But generally, so then what you're going to want to do is create a new folder and set that to multiply. Basically, the benefits of having it set to multiply is that everything in the folder will kind of layer as one image, so you can have multiple different things, but it'll they won't overlap as much. It's a lot easier to work with than setting everyone to multiply individually. So then what I like to do is go to like eBay or something like that and find an interesting kind of t-shirt from there. But generally, you can probably just take a picture of one in real life too, if you have one that you like and stuff like that. But for the purposes of this, I'll be doing this Ralph Nader campaign shirt. So you start out, you just drag and drop it. And for this kind of t-shirt specifically, like I said on the DayZ one, you have to mirror it horizontally. Who knows why? Once you've done that, and I'll note that if you do something on the back, you have to rotate it like by kind of like 12 degrees or so this way, or else it'll get skewed. But regardless, so once you've got that, you kind of position it where you want, and you can create the mask by clicking the black circle inside the white rectangle down there, and then you start by kind of just blocking out the parts that you don't want here, because you can be rough like that initially. And then once you've done that, you go in with a kind of softer brush to smooth out the edges. And I'll try and keep this quick because I don't want to waste your time so much. But so on a mask, white corresponds to transparency and black is like what is opaque. So, oh no, sorry, other way around. White is opaque and black is transparent. So it's just a way of representing that to a computer. So I got that wrong. Whatever. So next, once you've got that kind of all kind of out nicely, I messed it up here a little bit. There we go. You want to create a curves smart adjustment layer and then set that to be a clipping mask by holding Alt and clicking between the two layers. And what that does is that it makes it the smart adjustment layer will only affect the layer below it. So it's useful when you have, again, like a kind of cluttered workspace. Then you just click auto, and that will automatically white balance it, because on a lot of these pictures you'll notice that the lighting of the room that the picture was taken in will impact the color of the shirt itself. Like here, the shirt is not actually like a weird orange color. It's supposed to be white, but they got like a warm lamp in the room or something like that, and it's affecting the color. Or here, it's a little bit subtler, but yeah, it can affect them pretty majorly. You don't want it to be that weird off-white color. So and that fixes that. And yeah, you're kind of good to go effectively, but you're not quite done yet. So next, what you got to do is get this into source. So what I like to do is save it as a TGA or a Targa. I'm not sure what the specific benefit to this is. It's just what I like to do. And it's got a big file size, so I think that's a good thing. I mean, you delete it afterwards. So regardless, I'll name this one... let me check my layout here. Oh, okay. T-shirt custom 45, because I have quite a few, and soon you will too. And save that, and then I scroll down here. Here's my list in my custom texture directory, and you'll note what I've got this in is the add-ons folder, and that will show up in the legacy add-ons with extended spawn menu. But you can also put it in the materials folder here, A1A1. And what that does, it makes it so it shows up at the top of the material browser, so you have an easier time getting it. And I put mine in the add-ons folder just cause, no particular reason. But so I'll go back here. So what I want to do when I'm making a new texture is I'll copy a VMT that matches like kind of the same texture. That's what all of these are. So I rename it, because the VMT tells the game what the texture is, and because without this, it's basically useless. So then I change 4 to 5, and everything else here is good because it's basically the same texture. I've just changed how it looks. And then I open this with paint.net, mainly because it's just faster. I go down here to save as VTF, and I'm able to do this with a paint.net VTF plugin. And so a quick rundown of this. You have 4 formats you want to keep in mind, which is AGBR 888, and that one is no compression, but it adds the alpha channel. But because this is a flat texture, you don't really need the alpha channel at all, and it's just a wasted file size, basically. And the alpha channel, again, is this little layer here of white and black that tells the computer what is transparent and what is opaque. And of course, everything here is opaque, so again, no reason to have that. So BGR 888 is no compression and no alpha channel, so that's what I'll be doing here. But we also have DXT1, which is some fairly major compression. You'll see it made it kind of green. There's barely noticeable like JPEG compression too. But my main thing is the green because this is a predominantly white texture, so the green is a little noticeable. And then DXT5 will add the alpha channel, but also have the compression. So why you would do these is if you have, mainly to conserve on file size, because in a VTF, every pixel will take up part of the file size, as opposed to the color data of a PNG or a JPEG. So I'll come back here to BGR 888 and save it as, and then that should be good to go. So I'll come back in game, and then I'll check in here, in my directory, again in the add-ons legacy. It takes a second to load, and there it is. Go to submaterial, copy to clipboard, and Control A, Control V, and go to the, ooh. Yeah, okay. And you're good to go. Now you got your Ralph Nader campaign shirt.